Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and we are living in a timeline where Bill Maher has to correct leftists and actively answer a huge issue of women in the draft. This is wild. Let's go.
Now the Democrats in an election year have brought this up for I don't know what reason, saying now we want women to register because there's 250,000 women in the military right now. And if something was so catastrophic that we did have to draft people, why shouldn't women go? But why bring it up in an election year are my two questions.
Well, first of all, we shouldn't have a draft.
At all?
No, I don't think so.
What if it's an emergency?
Well, the fact that they're bringing this up now, to me, points to the fact that the only reason we would need a draft is because our warmongering politicians are starting wars that they know the American people aren't going to support. When you look at what happened after
they didn't start the wars.
Well, when you look at what happened, you look at what happened after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thousands and thousands of people from all across the country set aside their lives and volunteered because they wanted to go and fight for freedom and security and for peace. And you look at what happened after the attack on 9/11. So many Americans like myself, we enlisted to be able to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. And so when you look, to me, it's a big red flag that they're bringing this up right now. First of all, as we have multiple wars burgeoning around the world. But as a I've been deployed 3 times to different war zones. I don't want to be in a foxhole next to somebody who doesn't want to be there. First of all, that bond and that trust that exists between servicemen and women who are, when bullets are flying is so essential. You don't want to have somebody next to you who's like, hey, I don't want to be here. I don't want any part of this. That
it's
creates
just numbers.
A huge problem.
Come on. Sometimes it's just
you're talking about life and death.
I mean
you're talking about life and death.
I know, but exactly. And if we need that numbers of troops, they just are. The people in Gen Z, they're not going to volunteer. I've seen videos of them talking about it. I'm like, no, you're right. This generation can't do it. The number of people you're going to have is just going to be, it's going to be a smaller force. I mean, compared to, how many, there's over 1 billion Chinese people if the war breaks out with them. I mean, I don't want to get cataclysmic about this.
These wars don't just happen out of thin air. I think that's my point.
No, but we didn't start them. We didn't invade Ukraine and we didn't attack Israel. That's a silly thing to say.
I think the Iraq War was coming right out of the Dick Cheney's office.
That's true.
Oh, but that war.
That's true.
Yeah, that
okay,
one.
Well, that's not Biden.
That's 200,000 dead people over there and 4,000 of our people, and that was created by the neocons and Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
They did it.
Oh, good grief. I'm going to have to explain Iraq in a nutshell. Okay, so back in the 1990s, Saddam Hussein wanted to invade Kuwait, take its oil, sell it, and then profit off of the margins because he was deep in debt after his stupid war with Iran. Then a decade later, he got another harebrained scheme. What if I go off the oil standard, which by the way is also known as the petrodollar? Every single barrel of oil produced is bought in US dollars. And so if he goes off that standard, he threatens the entire market. So, fresh off of the end of the Soviet Union, the rest of the world looked left and looked right and said, maybe we need to do something about this. And so the United States backed a huge coalition to invade Iraq. We destroyed them in about 100 hours. They relinquished Kuwait. Saddam Hussein got a slap in the face. All was won, right? Wrong. George Herbert Walker Bush, who was the president at the time, wanted to continue to push to Baghdad, kick Saddam out of power for being so ridiculous. He was ignored. The Allies said, no, this is our foot in the sand, we're not going any farther. About 10 years later, it happened again. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on. And the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. Saddam Hussein decided that invading Kuwait is going to be a good strategy. This time he was going to do it right. And I'm going to take off our system of oil. I am going to stop spending US dollars to buy oil and sell oil. Well, the international community, again, didn't take that too lightly, and thus we invaded. We didn't invade because of weapons of mass destruction. That was sort of, for lack of a better word, a lie in order to get the public on board. Because it's harder in an age where you have access to the internet to support pretty much any foreign war, at least in the Western world. Meanwhile, Russia and China deliberately influence their social media accounts and block any dissent in order to push their narratives. These countries are not free countries. One has invaded Ukraine. Now, again, what we did in Ukraine, we're not ready for that conversation. We're not ready for the biolabs and the CIA operations and the attempted coup that succeeded in 2014. We're not ready for that conversation. We're not even properly equipped for an Israel conversation. Because the moment you do, the groypers show up and they spew their nonsense and all the adults in the room decide to leave. And then we don't tackle properly the Chinese Communist problem. They want to invade Taiwan, sheerly out of pride. That's why the CHIPS Act got passed. We know that they are arming themselves. Our legislators know that China is going to try to invade Taiwan. And the future of warfare is grim. It is in trenches, it is with drones, and you will not hear the bullets coming. You will not hear what takes you out. We have video footage of people leaving a tank because it got taken out by a drone. Missiles and drones, not battleships and tanks, are the future of warfare. And the only way to survive that is basically by a trench network. And we're currently seeing a slaughter in Ukraine. And these people are not serious about the subject. They're trying to placate a country that is, for lack of a better word, needing hope. And Bill Maher is out here trying to correct people who have gone too far, and yet he doesn't fully even understand the scope of what is coming. That is how bad our American media has become. Actively trying to drug the American people with hope that is not there, with a truth that is nothing but lies, and ultimately trying to drag us into a war that we don't want. Gen Z does not want to go to war. They do not trust the American government system. They do not trust the world government system in a way. They don't want to fight and die for something that they will not benefit from. They have learned the lesson of World War I, but our leadership has not. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Political Brawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.